They gathered in Washington for a summit that included a meeting with U.S. President Barack Obama, the highlight of a fellowship that gives some 500 young Africans a chance to develop academically and professionally. It's called the Young African Leaders Initiative, or YALI. President Obama launched YALI in 2010 and says the stability of the world depends on Africa. And joining me now is VOA Africa 54 TV host Vincent Makori. And Vincent, tell us a little bit more about what YALI is.
Well, YALI is a program that was started by the President of the United States to empower the future generation of African leaders. It draws from young people in all fields and professions who are dynamic, but also kind of have a focus on something they're doing. And so they kind of are being helped to not only nurture those abilities, but also to equip them, not only for what they're doing today, but for what they can do in the future. So it's kind of a program that looks at Africa from a point of tomorrow and make Africa better tomorrow through its younger leaders of today.
So how do you get selected? Because as I understand it, some 50,000 applicants tried to get in on this program. Yes. And only 500 made it.
It's a very tough process. What they do is they kind of select people here in Washington and across the world who kind of look at the applications of these young fellows. And groups of people are given a number of applications, and there are certain criteria that they look at. They have to kind of impress them in terms of the ideas they have and what they want to do with this program. And they go through that process and kind of sieve through all this, you know, these thousands upon thousands of applications and get the best out of them. Not to mean that the others are not as good, but at least they need to cut it down to a certain manageable number so they can bring in 5,000, at least until this year.
And now you profiled a good number of them, and I believe one of them was J.J. Sigbethia, if I'm saying that right.
Oh,
is that
yes,
correct? And
J.J.
he's from Ghana,
Sigbethia,
right?
From Ghana.
And he was really excited about this program.
He's fired, and I think it captures the spirit of the kind of leadership Africa is looking for.
I had this impression that business education was going to be the classroom type, but here you get to do it. You understand? So sometimes it leaves you with an itch to quickly go back to your country and just apply it as quickly before it all runs out your mind. Yeah. Meeting people from different countries, even from the continent of Africa, is as culturally engaging as meeting non-Africans in Dartmouth or New Hampshire or Washington. And that's because you discover that although we are all from the same continent, everybody has different ways of doing things.
Now, they saw the president, they had a chance to visit with him, and what do you think that meant for them to see the president of the United States come out and talk?
It was great. I mean, the president comes out there in a very informal way, having a conversation with them. I think one of the things they get out of this is the contrast between how they relate with their leaders in Africa and how President Obama is relating with them. It is a great privilege to be standing before the president of the free world, the leader of the free world, and have him interact with you in a very informal way, literally talking and having a conversation with you. I think it left a great impression upon their minds, and it helps them actually to really develop that confidence.
And what do you think really struck you the most when they came here to the U.S.?
Yeah, listening to many of them, talking to a bunch of them, I think what strikes me is that first, they're not so intimidated by the West or the U.S. They have grown up at a time in life where technology has kind of united them globally. They feel they're on the same level and footing with anybody anywhere in the world. But they do appreciate greatly the advancement in the United States and also the kind of exposure they are able to get by just being in the United States, going to the different places that they were placed, and learning from the best practices right here in the United States. But another thing that struck me about their demeanor, their disposition, is that they really have a focus on developing their countries back home. They're here to learn and transfer these skills, this expertise, these experiences back home and move the continent forward. That was amazing when you listen to them and kind of hear what they have to say.
And this is a program that will continue on, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. The president has said it's going to double the number of those coming. I think it's going to be by 2016, about 1,000 will be coming. There's more funding that is being set aside for this, so the program will go on.
All right. Vincent Makori, everybody, from Africa 54 TV. Thanks a lot for coming in,
Was a
telling
pleasure.
us all about it. All right,
It was a
Vincent.
delight to be.